Well, hello, my fellow YouTube people, and more so this one is for my Playboy peeps. I just wanted to deeply apologize and say I'm sorry for the delays on Playboy topics here on my channel, and I'm hoping that you'll find this subject to be quite an interesting one for you guys. I really want you to just sit down and, I don't know, maybe grab a drink and listen to my gabs about this. So, I did discover this, as usually as I always do, going through Playmate's Wikipedia pages and really trying to see if there's lesser known books out there to talk about, because I'd like to think the main ones that are talked about, you guys really have a really great idea of what they're all about, and they've been passed and gone a long time ago, and we all got a general idea of, the main Playboy books of what they're about, and maybe even read them even a few more times than we should have. So this one is about Marina Baker. She did go under a pen name as Daisy Pepper for a cat spell book here that I did discover randomly, and I wanted to specifically share this wonderful topic of conversation with you guys because I found this one to be more than fascinating and very intriguing, especially it mostly pertains about white magic, and she had quite an interesting career just besides her Playboy Playmate status. She did go on to become a journalist and a writer and activism, and she maybe dated one of the guys from 007, but besides that, this cat spell book here is more so a recommendation for you guys by Marina Baker, or this is under Daisy Pepper. So I'd like to think this one would be more of a recommendation for you guys from my point of view aspect, and I'll explain why. Because I don't have a cat anymore, unfortunately. Sadly, my cat Smokey passed away quite a few years ago, and I do miss him and think about him quite frequently, and it's quite a shame that I did stumble on this book, because as I was going through most of these cat spells, the recommendations for your cat, I was getting kind of bummed out, going, damn, I would have liked to have done this with Smokey and see how some of these would have worked out, and would have gave you a more thorough review in that aspect, doing these with my cat. And I just want to say on a side note that when it comes to, I guess, white magic, in this sense, it would be more so, I guess, okay and accepted white magic, because it is about, healing and positivity and good energy, and you're only really being selfless in that act, wanting to help heal a defenseless animal, because they are defenseless, precious beings, as we know, and we all love cats, or, well, some of us do. But, yeah, I really wanted to do this cat spell with a cat, and, just as a side note, I have been thinking for the past couple of weeks of getting a cat, and maybe doing these spells, and maybe doing an updated book review on this subject later on down the line, and really saying, hey, this page works and this page doesn't, for example. But I have been thinking about getting a cat for the last, I want to say 3 weeks now, and I kind of want to get a fluffy, fat looking cat with that stubby kind of nose and square box nose, the one that looks like that white funny looking one in Cats and Dogs from years ago, that movie, but more fat. So I thought this cat spells book by Daisy Pepper, which is by Marina Baker, she did have quite a, like again I was saying before, she did have a great career just besides being a Playboy model. She did quite a variety just on her own with writing and journalism and activism, and kind of being a shit disturber, but that's what one would do if you're being an activist in that sense. She really did put forth her opinions and what she really thought out there, and sometimes maybe her opinions, I would like to think in my opinion, can be quite harsh and drastic, but that's just me. And, side note, it's okay that, some of us, we all don't share the same views, and, that's okay too. And, I'm not much about some of the reviews, but mostly this white magic for cats and spells, and it's quite a wonderful, interesting subject for you Playboy fans that I know you're going to go look up after this, and maybe even get a copy. And the books are relatively cheap. I think they're about, they range from $12 to $16 or so with free shipping. So I have a few books, and I gave some away to other fellow cat owners that I didn't know here in town. Just as this book I would look up, this book I would look as like a heads up just in case, you want to help heal your animal. And some of the spells I noticed were, for example, you have to leave a certain colored crystal on top of a certain colored blanket under the window under moonlight. I forget if it was a half moon or full moon, and then there's other spells that really were suggesting on how to maybe get your cat to maybe get along with a new animal, like a new cat or dog coming into your home, trying to alleviate some of that anxiety. And there's also spells on that as well for your cat on how to help heal and make their anxiety more good and less crazy for them. And I think they even do give you some very resourceful step-by-step guides to what you may need, and some of the stuff that I would like to think that you would maybe have to go out and seek to buy for the book if you're really serious about doing it. From what I read and looked through, you'd probably have to more so just spend maybe a little bit more on the crystals for some of the healing energy scenarios and spells for your cats in this book. And I thought that was really cool. The one page I did read that if maybe your cat's gone missing and you need, just some good energy to get your cat back and good luck, there's, I think, an Egyptian symbol that you have to put outside at a certain time and date, and it's at night, and it's supposed to bring good luck to bring your animal back, and really explains the history behind some of these tools. And I don't know if I mentioned this part of me is I'm getting a bit wrapped up and tired here for time, but she did come from a white witch, from what I did read online, which thought that was quite cool and just really interesting. Just in general, her life besides Playboy just seems to be different and unique. And this cat spells book, I'd really like to recommend to you guys, because I know there's a lot of cat owners out there, and I think it does help with depression, maybe some healing scenarios if your cat gets sick, or kind of just gives you maybe also tips on going, well, hey, if your cat's acting like this, maybe this might help. So, very easy and good, positive, not crazy, black magic crap. It's very much so for your innocent little kitty or cat here. And some of the stuff I was reading, besides her cat spells book, that I guess the people over at Harry Potter, with the BBC documentary that they were doing, were actually seeking her out as a magic consultant for one of the documentaries for Harry Potter, which I thought was really cool, because they must have thought she was more than a pro to be seeking her out for her advice and opinions on white magic and spells in general, which I thought was really fascinating. I hope you guys maybe go take a quick peek and read her Wikipedia page and some of the stuff she's done, and her dating 007, which I thought was interesting for you guys. Maybe you'll have to go take a peek at some of her stuff and what she's done after this episode. And I do realize she did quite a few other books and writings. I do believe she did another teenage witch kind of book. And I think when you do go and research her, you will find the Cat Spells book and the other book that she did release to be really, it's not like this negative thing. I don't look at it, especially if you're just looking to use it for better things and positivity, and nothing, I guess, equals out all the negativity. And if it's only used for good, then that's okay. But the moment you start using it for bad or manipulation, it's a whole different story, and that's a whole different story on another episode. Maybe thinking you did or too. But I do want to say I want to say the subject of white magic when it comes to healing innocent animals, people that are, animals that are more so defenseless, that's okay. And I think the reason why I quickly mentioned people, I refer to animals as people, because I do look at them as an outside source of innocent love that you can always get at any given time, and it's not this fake rundown bullshit, to say the least, or to put it lightly. So I just want to say, I feel like I've ignored my channel on Playboy related topics anyway, and I feel like I can read the Playboy fans' thoughts. You're probably going, hurry the fuck up and talk about something Playboy related. We don't want to hear about your music or your movies or your science crap. Playboy fans be pinning me down and slapping me around to give them some kind of new subject. So I thought this would be a good subject to talk about. Marina Baker did have quite a great career, just to, again, like I go on about like a broken record, just besides the Playboy, and I just wonder what made the Harry Potter people really seek her out for professional advice and using her as a consultant for the documentary. I wonder what made them look into that and specifically pick her for getting advice for the documentary, which, as we all know, if you watched a couple of Harry Potter films, and you kind of get the gist of where this is going. So I want to say this episode is more so dedicated to you Playboy fans. I want to say I'm sorry. I do apologize for slacking on the Playboy related topics, but I want to say I will also be making up with this new batch of Sunday Funday Book reviews for you guys. And I found quite a few underground, lesser known Playboy Playmate books that I think you guys will go, well, how the hell did we not know about this? And I feel like, even myself, it feels like, how are some of these books so under the radar that not even some of us in the Playboy group or some of the Playboy fans discovered it, or maybe you have, and I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this Cat Spells book, but I would suggest you go get one. They're pretty cheap if you have a cat and they're just maybe worried about its health, depression, all sorts of useful tips, and I'm grateful that I picked it up and discovered it, and I got quite a few copies to give to friends and family members and people around here who have cats, because you do run into these common problems with animals like cats, and they do get sick or depressed or whatever the case may be. So that's why I thought I would recommend this book by a Playboy Playmate for you Playboy peeps out there. And the next batch of book reviews that I'll be doing each Sunday here, I want to say the next one is going to be a more interesting, lesser known one. It does deal with a lot of tragedy and heartache, but there's also some good times in this lesser known Playboy Playmates book that I'll be doing on next week's Sunday Funday Book review. And I'm really intrigued if you guys have even, I'm really interested to know if you guys have even heard of any cat spells before this video. Have you guys heard of cat spells? I have not before I ran into this little piece of a gem. And I want to say Marina Baker, some of her views are pretty drastic and harsh, and, but just because some of them, not all of them, some of them, just because I don't agree with some of those, doesn't mean anything. It's okay that we all, again, share different opinions and views on things, but, and it's also okay for us to also come to a mutual agreement that we go, hey, we all got different views, and it's okay, and that's cool too. So I really do think you Playboy fans will really get a kick out of the spell book for your cat, and I'm hoping that if you do have a cat, maybe you've done some spells by now, and maybe you could come back here and maybe tell me which spells per se that really have worked for you and your cat. So I've been thinking about getting a cat here, and I think the next time I maybe do, the next batch of Sunday Funday Book reviews down the line, I'm hoping by then, hopefully, fingers crossed here, that maybe I'll have my crazy fat fluffy cat, and maybe I'll give a better updated book review on this Cat Spells book by aka Daisy Pepper, and maybe I'll tell you which ones that really work good for me too with my animal, my future coming cat. I hope to have my future animal here soon. It's just been a hot topic of conversation in my mind, going, well, should I get a new cat, shouldn't I don't know. So I think I'm like 98% certain I might get a new cat, so it's a pretty strong number. So, I mean, let's be honest, if I do get that fat, funny looking, cute kitty cat, I mean, it's going to be great for pictures, and I'm probably the kind of crazy person that would take my cat to Niagara Falls and Toronto, just take my cat everywhere. So I will definitely do a more updated book review on this. Again, and give you guys which spells work for me and my cat, and I'm definitely going to get a cat here. I'm pretty certain I might, so when I do, I will for sure tell you guys, maybe even just maybe I'll just do a couple YouTube posts instead of an updated version and tell you guys which spells for your cat works. And I'm definitely going to do it when I get my cat and see which spells might work. And I think there was even a spell on there for your cat on how to get it more comfortable and get less anxiety if it just moved into a new home, which I'll probably be using for that one. I'll be using that one when I do get my new cat, hopefully here soon. So if you guys have heard of cat spells, please let me know in the comments if you have, because I have not until I seen Playmate Marina's book here. I just want to again emphasize strongly, sorry to keep going on like a broken record, but for some of the reviews besides the white magic, I'm not about some of her other reviews, but the white magic for animals and positivity and good energy spreading within yourself and others, that of course I'm all about. So definitely 100% would recommend you get this book. It's more than fucking fascinating. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys go and get a copy. They're really cheap, and I'd really like to know which maybe cat spell works for you guys, and maybe go take a quick peek at her Wikipedia page and you'll have fun looking down that little rabbit hole. And we all know how much I love holes. Geez, I thought I'd throw a crazy dick joke in here just at the end, because why not? Anyways, I think I'll save that kind of crazy for my Thinking is Ghetto 2. Which, before I end this episode, side note, I think my Thinking is Ghetto 2 is going to be interesting. I'm going to finish all the other saved episodes and upload them and also with some of my new subjects I've discovered and really rant and rave to you guys. But this one's more so for the Playboy peeps, and next week I'll be doing a Playboy Playmate review on a book that was pretty kind of sad, but still with some good times. And within that episode next week, I'll make sure to also include a bonus review for the horror fans. So I'm kind of pleasing both my audiences here. So much love to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on next week's book review, which will be a bit more interesting than this one, but I think this one was pretty interesting so far. So anyways, much love, guys. Again, thank you always to the Playboy peeps for tuning in, even if it's just 10 to 100 people tuning in. It's always much appreciated. Always much love to you, the Playboy peeps, because I feel like that's really what centered me and got me here and got, pretty much my views on other videos. And like I always joke about, I'm thinking like, geez, the Playboy fans don't care that I'm going to be doing movies or talking about science or doing songs. They're just like, hurry the fuck up and talk about some Playboy shit. I want to say 95% of my content here on YouTube is Playboy related, but the next episode is going to be Playboy and horror movie related in the book review genre. So I'll see you on the next one, and always thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great night, evening, morning, wherever the fuck you are. I hope you're having a more than great day or night, and see you on the next Sunday Funday Book review. Love from your Canadian favorite crazy, your Canadian beaver, aka the boy next door. So well, anyways, much love to my Playboy peeps and my horror peeps or whoever randomly discovers this video. Hope you go get the cat book, and if you do, let me know. See you on the next review on Sunday. Bye, guys.